Hello and welcome to the Reasonable Boy podcast for YouTube. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about education and just how bad it is becoming to fund any children's education at the moment. What you're going to see over the next few minutes are clips of actual education establishments in the UK and what their funding will look like, not only at the moment, but in the future if the Conservative government gets into power. Now, I'm based in Birmingham in the UK, and Birmingham has 337 schools. Of those 337 schools, every single one of those will lose money because of the government funding formula. There is no other place in the UK in regards to a large city that has suffered 100% reduction in funding in schools from the government as Birmingham has done. It's of great worry to an awful lot of people in that every school in Birmingham will lose money because of government funding cuts. Even if, heaven forbid, we have an elected Conservative government on the 13th of December, the way in which the funding will change for schools means that in Birmingham, out of the 337 schools, only 4 will have increased funding. So just think about that. 333 schools will still have a funding crisis. And we're not talking about a few £1,000s here. We're talking of hundreds of thousands of pounds per school. And in some schools, it can range from as low as £90 per pupil, but in Birmingham, it's more likely to be £190 upwards per pupil. And in some cases, it's over £400 per pupil. It's an absolute scandal. And I don't care who you vote for, whether you vote a Labour voter, a Conservative voter, a Lib Dem, or whoever you vote for, Greens, whatever. We should all be thinking very seriously about children and about their future and our children's future. We cannot continue having a funding formula for schools which deprives children of the resources that they need for their education. It is an absolute scandal that this is happening in the fifth richest country in the world. So I'll just say to you that when you go to the polling booth on the 12th of December and you cast your vote, if you cast your vote in support of a Conservative government, be under no illusion your child, your grandchild, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews will suffer because of the cuts to education. They're happening now, and they're real, and they are deep. When you consider that teachers are actually having to support children with their own money for buying materials that you would think we shouldn't be buying, pens, pencils, paper. These are the basics. They're not luxuries. And we really need to have a long, hard think about what sort of society we want to live in. Now, there's going to be a little bit of video here, and this is just a screen grab from a site called schoolcuts.org.uk. You put in your postcode, and it will tell you which schools are in that area, and you just click on the pound signs which pop up, and it will tell you the current state of play for the school, i.e. what the Conservatives will be funding the school. And most of those, I will be honest, there's the odd one or two where there will be an increase, but on the bulk of the schools you'll see it is a reduction in funding. It will show the Labour Party's funding formula for that school as well. From what I've seen, it is around about £163 more per pupil. That's the average. And then I'll show you the Liberal Democrats. And some of the some of these that you'll see on the video range from £0 to maybe £10 or so. It may be a little bit different across the country, but look on that website, have a look, and see how the current funding formula by the Conservative government impacts on your school. It is quite devastating to see how much some of these schools are going to lose out under a Conservative government. No matter what they say, your school, generally speaking, I'd say it's 99% certain they will be in deficit. So if you care about your children's future, and you really do care about your children's future, and you care more about that than politics, then I'm afraid no matter if you're a Conservative voter or not, you have to vote differently on the 12th of December, because it's not going to get any better for education in this country if we allow a Boris Johnson government to be brought back on the 13th of December. So here you are, look at it. If you disagree, you disagree. If you agree, you agree. But do look on the site and do some research and see how it will affect your school. But all I will say to you is I've said this before, is you've got the choice here between two parties. That's all the choice you have. And that's between the Conservative government that gave us austerity for 9 years, or a Labour Party that will end austerity and invest in this country for everyone, no matter who you voted for. Just remember that. They're not going to invest because people voted Labour. They're going to invest for everyone. And I'll leave it at that. See you later. Bye.